Welcome to Upper School Chapel. Please set aside your phones so you are able to focus on today's service. First up, we have Jackson Sisler. Jackson has been a student at St. Stephen's for 5 years. During his time here, he has been on the varsity basketball team. He enjoys making music and he strives for world peace. Please welcome Jackson.
Hello, everyone. My name is. Nah, I'm just joking. You didn't have to actually do it. All right. I don't really know what I'm supposed to say. All right, I have a script for that. My first couple drafts of writing this speech got thrown out because they were too self-aware and it seemed cliche to write a speech about writing a speech. But here we are. Speeches are pretty cool. Throughout my time at this school, I've always sought out this kind of attention. I remember my first year here, we were looking at some sort of photo gallery. It was like a museum, and there was a bunch of like pictures on the wall, and I just kept looking at one photo, like this is the photo, and I was just like right up close to it, and just waiting for someone to like come near me, and I was just Miss Ackerman come over and was like asked me why I was doing what I was doing, and I was like, I'm doing it for attention. And then, or either that, I don't remember the situation perfectly, but either that or she called me out on doing it for attention, and I was just like, yeah. And yeah, either way. Honestly, this whole thing could have been a dream, but it makes sense with my speech, so. But now I have all your guys' attention, and I didn't even have to wear a Cheeto jumpsuit to school. And with this attention, it is now my job, through the medium of a speech, to make a connection to all of you. In my early years at this school, I tried to make this connection through humor. And to keep evolving this connection, I saw myself turning this extended, goofy version of myself. A star was born? Nah. A star was corn. A character was made. And if you ask me, I think we're all characters. We're all acting, masking, and morphing our characters depending on the time and situation. You can call it fake, but as long as you keep the same values, to me it's just a part of human nature. The product of the nature of my character was the result of me not knowing how to express myself and make a connection to people in other ways, as funny as it may sound outside of a joke. Back then, whether it was through a normal conversation or through a class discussion, I thought I had a hard time getting my message across. I thought I had a hard time really explaining and expressing my thoughts. Maybe my thoughts were right, to some extent, but it was the anxiety that came from these thoughts that put them in reality. A reality where I saw myself as socially awkward. Maybe how I saw myself as accurate to some degree, but it was this view of myself that put it into action. The mind precedes reality. And this awkwardness to me had a little bit of more joke material for me, but at the same time, in other contexts, I genuinely did feel socially awkward in a lot of situations. And this is not some kind of resentment for how I used to be. I actually love my old self, and as you can see, I haven't really changed much, but this is the resentment of the anxiety. Anxiety that made me think I wasn't really good with people. When day after day goes by thinking that you aren't good at something, you start to actually play into that. It gives you a comfort zone of who you are, and it's hard to break and expand it. And when anxiety forces you into this box, the only way out is through, and the only way through is outside of any logical reasoning that you once relied on. And that's because sometimes logical reasoning and pure rationality isn't enough. The squares of thought will never fill up the circle that is life. Anxiety comes from the acknowledgement of the inevitable and unlimited uncertainties of our surroundings, enduring the impossible task of making them all certain. This will never be done. What is able to be done, however, is the ability to be certain of yourself, certain that you will commit to something, and keep that self-certainty when the uncertainties of life become overwhelming to think about. Sometimes to hold on to this certainty within yourself, it takes the absence of thinking, the absence of reason. Certainty is in a way from a form of irrationality or ignorance. In a way, you need to hold on to it with some kind of blind faith. And the certainty that you will hold on to that certainty that you have created within yourself, despite anything, just creates more certainty. My friends give me credit for giving me the opportunity to find this within myself. The amount of social situations I was given the option to be a part of, option that I really didn't want to be a part of, was enough. Over time, I started to go through and out of the box anxiety had put me in, and outside that box, I realized I could be anyone. I could be any character. And as the person who was forced to look upon the prospect of high school with dread and anxiety, I now have the choice of being someone who is confident and ready and excited to enter the college experience. Now for my thank yous. Nick, I know we have arguments, but as I've come to realize, this is because we simply have different ways of thinking. And I'm appreciative to have this perspective, and I'm thankful we were able to foster a friendship out of it. Big homie, Grambeto. I know the idea of me and you using each other for advice and conversating about real things might seem far-fetched to all of you, but behind all the jokes, you're a very rational and authentic person. Fenley, I don't know if you're here today. I told you to sneak into chapel if you could, but you understand an aspect of me that I don't think anyone else really understands, and I don't want to lose that, and only you know your true potential. To my dad, thank you for allowing an open, honest relationship about anything and everything. Seems like for every little situation or problem I have, you really had that same problem, and you know how to get me out of them. You were once in my shoes, and you're rational to understand that not everything is going to be perfect. To my sister, I don't. Thank you for being someone to grow up with. Without, without you, I'd probably be like lonely and grow up like nihilistic, or how do you say that word? And thank you for invoking a competitive spirit out of me in literally everything. And hopefully I can be better than you at pickleball someday. To my brother, you inspire a creative energy that I like to bring out of myself. Going into this college and deciding a major associated with, business, I'm kind of scared I might lose that side of me, but, you know, having you there just makes me feel like I can get it done. And, I'm confident within that. Um, to my mom, thank you for serving as kind of a federal bank of my life. When my GDP is down, when things aren't going good and I'm busy, I sometimes come home surprised to see my room is clean and that all my laundry is done. You're just constantly looking out for me. But when things are going well for me, you have to make sure that my bubble doesn't pop. And are constantly nagging for me to do stuff, making sure I never get too comfortable. As parents, I feel like you guys have struck a good balance of letting me go through the process of becoming independent while at the same time doing your job as parents to make sure that I'm safe and held accountable for. All while keeping a good and open relationship in the process. And part of keeping that relationship is having that trust and holding on to that certainty within myself. Love you guys. And like all of you. Seriously though, hope this speech made the type of connection I was hoping it would. Thank you.